So I walk in and just go up to the manager and say, hey man, do you want me to just park this in the showroom? The whole story starts when I first saw the unveiling of the Tesla Cybertruck, which was an immediate meme. So I stayed up, it was like 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, earlier in California, and I was exhausted. I'm just catching the tail end of the Tesla unveiling. But when I saw the truck, my jaw literally dropped. I was laughing out loud in my bed, like half asleep. I thought it was a complete joke. When they threw the balls at the window and they broke, I thought that was the punchline, like, haha, okay, let's bring the real truck out. But they didn't. There was no real truck. That was the real truck. I went on their website. I saw the actual Tesla Cybertruck actually for sale. And I could not believe, I literally didn't sleep that night because of how unsettled I was that was the actual freaking Tesla Cybertruck. It blew my mind. In the days following the unveiling, I saw that there were 250,000 or something orders, which was insane. Like, there's no way that Tesla's even gonna be able to make 250,000 trucks. But to see the traction behind the orders and to see the movement that was the Tesla Cybertruck, I knew that there was no choice but for us to recreate it. As a member of Gen Z, as a 22-year-old guy in 2019, this felt like the most 2019 thing I could possibly do. And me being somebody who's not mechanically inclined, I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to, machine cold steel together and do this unibody thing. So the next best thing that I could think of was cardboard and duct tape. So that's what we did. The goal was to make this Tesla Cybertruck and basically make a meme for the internet and just have it go absolutely viral. And then a couple days later, we would record the entire thing and then release a video basically telling the story of how that truck was made. So that's what we did. So when I reserved the truck on Turo, my assumption was that this was a double cab with a short bed. Like, that would have been the perfect truck to do this with, right? That's like the same sort of fit as the actual Tesla truck. Upon arriving to our actual rented truck, we realized that this was a single cab extended bed, which basically was worst case scenario. How are we supposed to find a piece of cardboard big enough to extend from the top of a single cab truck all the way to an extended bed? It was not gonna happen. On Turo, it cost us $95, I think, from the buyer to rent the truck for the day, which was a pretty steep price, I felt like, especially for the truck that we got. When we got the truck, it wasn't super clean on the inside. There was used batteries, pieces of like plastic something in the back, and a used copy of like Madden from 2014. So I was surprised to pay the $94, but listen, I was just happy to get a truck at that point. I'm somebody who is not afraid to go up to people at Home Depot and ask questions. So immediately when I got there, my question was, do you have anything long enough to go from the top of my truck all the way to the end of the bed? And they steered me toward the insulation aisle where they have giant sheets of like foam. And that was what we actually ended up using. So it was definitely redneck. It was definitely redneck. So for the next 4 hours, we got loads of cardboard. We got metallic in a can and just started spray painting cardboard and duct taping it to the truck. We used some foam board, and after 4 hours, many trips in and out of Home Depot, we had a finished product of what was the redneck Tesla Cybertruck. So after we finished the build, we thought that the next most reasonable thing to do would be to take it to the local mall where they also have a Tesla store. Getting the reactions of people who were already in love with Tesla and like the group of local Tesla fanboys, for us, was the funniest thing. So we wanted to make sure we got those reactions. So on the way from Home Depot to the mall, it was a 1.5 mile drive, which was supposed to take us 7 minutes. However, we had to go extremely slow in this truck. So it took us closer to 20 minutes with our hazards on. To make matters worse, it also started torrential rain downpour on the way over there. And you can imagine how a cardboard truck would react to rain. We're screaming, we are terrified in the car thinking that our truck that we just spent 4 hours on was going to be destroyed before anybody could even see it. Immediately when we entered the mall, before we were even recording or anything, people's heads were turning. It was crazy. It was really interesting to see too, because you think of Tesla as this like young person's company and younger people are attracted to it, but kids all the way to your 85-year-old grandma, everyone's heads were turning, and people were freaking out. Pictures being taken, videos being taken, and that was success for us because we knew that those videos and photos were going to go viral on the internet, and they did. So we get to the Tesla store, and Immediately, my gut reaction, the funniest thing I could think to do is to try to sell this to the Tesla employees as the actual Cybertruck. So I walk in and just go up to the manager and say, hey man, do you want me to just park this in the showroom? How do you want me to pull it in here? And he dies laughing. He immediately knows that it's not, obviously. The funny part was that not everybody realized that though. Customers that were shopping for a potential Tesla started coming up to me and asking about the Cybertruck. They thought it was the real thing. They were sold on the idea that that was the real Cybertruck. A couple of guys thought that it was covered in cardboard because they were maintaining the low-key look of the body, even though it had been publicly released in Tesla's live event. But yeah, I spent some time goofing with the employees and talking them into the idea that this was the actual Cybertruck, and I had a blast, and I think they did too. The Tesla employees were getting a kick out of the fact that all their customers thought it was a Tesla truck, and they didn't even interrupt. They just let me talk them into this. It was the funniest thing. The truck was also illegally parked outside of the Tesla store. So on my way out, the security guard told me to move my truck and mentioned that it looked incredibly aerodynamic, which I thought was pretty funny. I think probably the funniest part of the entire story is how easy it was for us to make a Cybertruck that people believed. Because the design is so ridiculously easy, it's like 3 triangles and a truck, and that's it. That's all it takes. People believed it. It was nuts. So after getting kicked out of Tesla and getting kicked out of our parking spot, we thought the grand finale would be to get the Cybertruck valet parked in front of this upscale mall with the likes of McLarens, Lamborghinis, you see every weekend there's Ferraris, super nice cars parked up there, and we thought it would be the funniest thing if we could get the Cybertruck parked up there too and start to get reactions. And that is exactly what we did. We backed the Cybertruck up directly next to this bright orange McLaren and got out of the truck and were stopped immediately by security. I talked to the head of security, and after some negotiating, after some slight deception, I will admit, we were able to get a shooting badge or a license to be able to shoot video there, and we literally parked it up in front right next to this McLaren for a half hour talking to people about the Cybertruck. We got all kinds of reactions. Again, anybody from the middle-aged dad to your local 16-year-old kid, everyone came up and asked questions about the Cybertruck. Luckily, I'm a Tesla fanboy myself, so I knew all the specs of the Tesla truck, answered questions like range, mileage, towing capacity, and convinced everybody that Elon had hand-delivered the keys of this truck to me, and I had driven it directly from California to here. Why? And why did people believe me? I don't know, but they did. Yeah, I was expecting to get a few offers on the truck, but nobody did. I think that they assumed that this was the one and only Cybertruck, and somehow they had been lucky enough to see it. Between the foam, between the cardboard, paint, everything, we probably spent $75 on all of the supplies it took to build the truck, which again is a testament to the simplicity of the Tesla truck design. It literally took $75 to turn a regular truck into a Tesla truck. So after about a half hour, everyone sort of had their fill. Everybody's had their Q&A time with me, the only Tesla truck owner in the United States. And we pull out the security super nice, and they tell us it's time to leave. After that, I take 150 gigabytes of footage. I spend 20 hours in my cave editing this video together. And after a couple days, release the video onto YouTube on my personal YouTube channel. Within literally 3 minutes, friends, fans, followers start tagging me in tweets, viral Instagram pictures, articles on the internet with hundreds of thousands of views, likes, and comments. And in that moment, I knew that our plan had worked. We had deceived the general public and the internet. I think articles called me things like the Tesla troll, the redneck Cybertruck owner. These were all titles that the internet had given me. There was one post that stuck out and had absolutely by far the most engagement, and that was a picture on the Instagram profile of my good friend Ed Bolian, who I did not know at the time. By some slim chance and turn of events, Ed was in the Apple store behind the Tesla shop that I was inside of, took a photo of the Cybertruck, and the picture went wild. It was the most engaged photo of anything that we had seen, and all of my car friends were tagging me on this photo. It was a lot. There were a lot of tags. So with Ed's picture, so with all the articles, photos, tweets, even TikToks floating around on the internet, we had realized that the goal had been achieved. We had absolutely trolled the internet. The truck is so easy to troll. I don't think that doing this was any kind of a slight towards Tesla. It wasn't like a political motive or anything like that. It was just a way for a couple of guys to have a good time on a Friday afternoon. And we did. We had a lot of fun. Being someone who hasn't previously spent a ton of time in the car community, seeing all of these articles on different car websites, publications was pretty crazy, and definitely steered me in a direction where I'm thinking more and more about like, what is the next project? Hopefully Tesla comes out with a Model Z or something that is super boxy too, and we can just recreate that. It's another easy follow-up. I think that we were so excited to put all of the cardboard onto the truck and make the Cybertruck that we never really thought about how are we gonna get this back to a normal truck? So after leaving the Avalon, this upscale mall, we realized that our truck rental return was in 30 minutes, and we quickly had to find a way to turn this back into a normal Ford F-150. So the quickest way that we could think to do that was to find our nearest large dumpster, and that was in the nearest Walmart shopping center. So we pulled around back really quick, and we literally in 5 minutes just went out of the truck and tore all the cardboard off, and just madmen running back and forth between the truck and the dumpster, throwing cardboard over our heads into this dumpster, getting back in the truck, and then taking off. So at 6:30, we returned the truck. That process was the craziest thing, and I feel like what we did with the truck was the most Turo thing you can possibly do. I'm riding home from the truck, and all I can think about in my mind is how easy it would be to use that platform to go rob a bank or something. I mean, to just get a car and go do anything you want with it, it is the best platform for committing a crime. So if you're looking to commit a crime, Turo has got you. Ironically, the only thing that the owner did manage to get angry about was the next morning I woke up to a series of messages about how I had accidentally left the keys in the ignition of the truck, and it had killed the truck's battery. So at 3 a.m., I feel so bad. The owner of this truck is jump starting the truck and going over to it, locking it, doing all this stuff. He charged me an extra $15, which I felt was a ridiculously fair fee for the inconvenience that I caused him. So if you're out there, I'm so sorry. That was not cool.
This month's car stories are sponsored by The Ridge. The Ridge makes a line of wallets and bags that are designed to be minimalist and help us just take with us the things we actually need. So check out the link in the description below for a discount and buy one for yourself, or they make great Christmas presents. And be sure to let them know how thankful you are for their support of VINwiki.